Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily Dvar. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Wednesday, the 16th day of January. Here we go. Today's halacha is about a new topic for us here. It says in our Torah, in Parshas Re'eh, Lo Tizgodedu. Now, the simple meaning of that has not so much application to us today, and that was an idolatrous custom that used to exist long, long ago, where people would sometimes, upon the death of a loved one, they would put scratches or scars on themselves or marks onto themselves to remind themselves of a dead person. Anyway, I don't know people doing that anymore, but the rabbis interpret that phrase in a different way to also suggest another prohibition, and that is not just lo tizgodedu, don't make scratches or cuts on yourself, but lo tizgodedu, lo tasu agudos agudos. Don't make yourself into groups and groups. And that's hotly debated, like what exactly that means and how would it apply in a community. It could mean things like you shouldn't have like a split court, where half of the court is issuing that Jews should do this and half of the court issuing that Jews should do that. Don't make yourself into groups and groups of Jews. Jews should do one set thing. Now you know that makes for a lot of complication because the way things have ended up today, Jews do a lot of different things. Jews have wandered all over the planet over the last 2,000 years, and a lot of different customs have developed. So what do we do? So I'm going to give you some of the guidelines that Rav Moshe Feinstein Zatzal has listed as to how this would apply specifically in an application that would apply to us would be in Nusach, in davening. For example, you daven Nusach Ashkenaz, the custom of the shul you're walking into is Sfard, and if you would daven in a different way from the shul, then you would be formulating your own way, In cities, a lot of big Jewish cities where there is a Sfard shul and an Ashkenaz shul, no one's really guilty of lo tizgodedu because there are two different customs in the city, and that's okay. But if you walk into a shul and you daven very differently out loud from the way the people in the shul are davening, then you're guilty of violating this prohibition. So here's some of the specific guidelines Rav Moshe said as far as you davening in somebody else's shul. He said that when you're davening Shmona Esrei, you could say Shmona Esrei in your own private nusach, and you don't have to be copying the one of the congregation around you. But for example, when you are saying Kedusha, which is an out loud thing, so you should say Kedusha even if you're going to recite Kedusha quietly, but it's a minyan thing that's being said out loud. It's a responsive thing, and therefore you should say Kedusha the way the shul around you is saying it. If you're in an Ashkenaz shul and you usually daven Sfard and you usually strike your chest when you say Hashamnu and stuff like that, no one's doing that around you. Rav Moshe Feinstein Zatzal said you can say Hashamnu quietly to yourself, but don't strike your chest because no one in the shul around you is doing that, and you'd be splitting away effectively from the shul. Maybe we'll give you a couple more of these exceptions and how they apply to you tomorrow. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.